yourself sitting in a flight, ready to take off, and it's a 4 hours long flight. You have your newspaper in place, and you even have a neck pillow to rest and relax for 4 hours. So you're sitting on the seat, and the flight has taken off. And you open up your newspaper to read, and you're in a mood to relax. And then there is this kid behind you, screaming, howling, and pushing your chair with their feet. What a surprise. No, not a surprise? Okay. What a nightmare! Yes, such a nightmare, as bad as a bad dream? Well, this is a word that you can use to talk about difficult situations. And today in this lesson, I'm going to teach you words and phrases that you can use to talk about a difficult situation. Well, after this lesson, your problems are not going to end, but you can definitely talk about the difficult situations that you're having. So keep watching with me. My name is Michelle and you're watching me on your favorite channel. Let's talk. Great. Now let's start with the first word that we have. We are firstly going to look at words and then some phrases. So the first word that we have is predicament. Yes, you say it like predicament. So predicament is a problem which is very hard to get out of. So think of a divorce. Is it easy to get out of a divorce? No. Think of a financial problem. Can you easily get out of a financial problem? No. So both of these are examples of predicaments, which means problems that are hard to get out of. Let's write it. Problems hard to get out of. So to use it in a sentence, you could say that Bella is trying to come out of her financial predicament, which means financial crunch or financial problem. Now let's look at the next word that we have to talk about difficult situations. Dilemma. So dilemma is a problem when you have to choose between two options, right or left, here or there, John or William, oops. So when you have to choose between two options, you're in a dilemma. Let's write it. To choose between two. So when it's very hard or very difficult to choose between two situations or two options, you use the word dilemma. Think of a friend who has a job and then he got another offer. So this person got a new job and they have also got another new offer which appears to be better. So that person is in a dilemma. You could say that Rosh is in a dilemma because he doesn't know which job to pick. Okay, with this we move on to the next word. Ordeal. So ordeal is a very, very, very bad experience which goes on for a long time. Okay? A bad experience that goes on for a long time. This word is used for very serious situations. Like when terrorists capture some people, that's an ordeal. Or when someone is suffering from a long-term sickness, that's an ordeal. So the worst disease that can come to my mind is cancer. So a person suffering from cancer is going through an ordeal, an extremely difficult situation. And you use this word for serious situations. With this we move on. Teething trouble. So have you seen a child who has his or her teeth coming out and they always want to chew on something? That's because it's paining in their mouth when the teeth are trying to come out, okay? So that is teething problem. Whenever you start a project or something new, there are always initial problems. So the first few problems when you start something new are called teething problems or teething troubles. So you could say that when we started the project, we had the usual teething problems as expected, which means the problems that come up when you start something. Now, the next kind of problem is a juggling act. So, when you have to deal with too many things at one time, that's a juggling act. Basically, too many problems at one time. So, think of a parent's life. They have to deal with work and family as well. So, that is a juggling act. The life of a parent is a juggling act. And to use it in a sentence, you could say that my life is a juggling act between work and home. This means you have to deal with too many problems at once. Deal with too many problems at once. Let's move forward. The next word is dead end. So dead end means something to which there is no progress. So for something where there is no progress, you use the word dead end. Let me tell you where this word comes from. So when you're going in a car and you're on your way to some place, and you see that there is one way for which there is no exit. You mean it's closed. You can't get out of that way. The way is only till there. You can't see what's ahead because there is nothing ahead of it. So when there is no progress and you cannot go ahead in a problem, that is a dead end. So to use it in a sentence, you could say that they have reached the dead end of their marriage, which means they can't go on anymore and there is not going to be any progress in the future. Okay, now let's look at some more options. This word is impasse. Yes, we do not pronounce the last E. We only say impasse. So what is impasse? Impasse is also another kind of problem, okay? It is a kind of problem to which there cannot be any agreement. So when the people involved cannot agree on anything, that's an impasse. Cannot agree. So to use it in a sentence, you could use it in a more written way, or when you're writing something, you could use the word impasse. You could say that the two countries have reached a political impasse, which means a political disagreement, which is definitely a very difficult situation. Now let's look at the next word. This is pronounced as stole-mate. Yes, I'll repeat it for you. Stole-mate. Now, stole-mate has a very similar meaning as impasse. It means that a situation where no one can win, okay? No one can win. With this one also you can use the verb reach, as you can use it with impasse. You could say that the two countries have reached a stalemate, which means none of them can win from each other. Okay, so both of these words are used when you're writing an essay, especially a political essay. Okay, now let's look at some very easy and fun words. The first one is a headache. So a pain in your head. When something is very boring to do, it's called a headache. So you could say that filling the forms was a real headache. Okay? Fine. Now let's look at the next one, which is pain. Pain means something which is very hard to do, okay, for which you need to put in a lot of effort. Something which is hard to do. So what do you think is hard to do? Do you think it's easy to get a visa for US? Not so easy. So you could say that getting the visa for US or for any other country was a pain. Okay? Getting the visa for US was a pain. Or you could also replace it with the word drag. Drag could also be used for something which is either boring or something that is hard. So you could say that filling the forms was such a drag. It was so boring and so hard. Now we have the final word with which I started the lesson. I said, what a nightmare, which means what a bad experience. So if you had a bad experience when going somewhere, you could say that, I hope the journey back would not be a nightmare, which means I hope it would not be bad. Well, I hope the days coming ahead for you would not be a nightmare and you will have a stress-free, easy and good time. I hope you get rid of your difficulties, and if you can't, then be strong, deal with them, use all these vocabularies to talk about difficult times. So thank you so much for staying with me till the end of the lesson. I'll see you guys very soon with another lesson. Till then, you take care, bye-bye and have fun.